the National Mosque, Abuja, and we're going to be speaking to Hajia Safia. She's part of the coalition of Nigerian Muslim women, and she's speaking to us about her experiences and her their achievement and all that stuff. Assalamu alaikum, Hajia.
Walaikum salam to Allah.
The coalition of Nigerian Muslims started organizing World Hijab Day in Abuja since 2014. So that's how long they have come. If you have been with them so long, what were your personal reasons why you became part of such a cause?
I personally feel that every Muslim woman should be aware, and even the non-Muslims, they should be aware of the importance of wearing the hijab. It's part of our clothing, and it is noble, and it is we encourage the Muslim women to cover her chastity. It is in the Quran. It is ordained. It is the decree of Allah that we should always keep our aura covered. And if you look at it, even in the society, morally speaking, a woman should hide her diamonds, if I may put it that way, in a lighter note. You know, because every part of a woman is an attraction. Good. So you cover whatever it is that you need to cover, so that you leave the rest for just your husband.
So when you have something that is precious,
when you have something that is precious, you're right. When you have something that is precious, you cover it and you take care of it, basically.
Yeah, so that's the main aim. That's of the World Hijab Day.
Yes.
What are this year, the unity and diversity, the theme for this year? You know, the objective seeks to keep the hijab discourse fully in the public domain and to remind we as Muslims, hijab wearers, of their roles as ambassadors of Islam. So, what would you say to those of us who wear hijab on occasions? You know, there are people who, okay, this is a hijab occasion, let me wear hijab today.
Actually, yesterday, I was I didn't get to go to the press conference, but I got a clip of what happened during the press conference, and a man stood up and he said, after the World Hijab Day, a lot of times the hijab is kept on one side, and even if it's not, they wear it just for 1 week and it's over. Well, to me, I don't think it's a right thing to do. I have been carrying the veil since at very young age. I started wearing hijab fully some years, way back. And people ask me, don't you feel hot inside, especially during the heat season?
Yeah, that's most of the question.
Apparently, when I used to see women dressed, with the hijab and all that, I'll be like, really, it's hot. Can't they just use a veil and get it over and done with? You know? And alhamdulillah, I now realize that, yes, the weather is hot, but no, I feel the normal heat that every other woman feels, whether she's wearing the hijab or not. Allah is a very merciful God. There is a way you feel this cool breeze inside you. And even your skin, when you take off the hijab and you look at your skin, it is very different. Everywhere that you cover properly, it's different. You can see, sometimes you see our palms, they look a little bit dark, the feet a little bit dark, but every other place that is covered is glowing. And that is the nur of Allah. It is a natural thing. And alhamdulillah, yes, you do feel the heat when you wear the hijab, but it's the normal heat that every normal person feels, whether the person is in hijab or not.
So that means it boils down to understanding your reason for wearing it then. understanding, as a Muslim, understanding your reasons for wearing it. Because if you really love what you do, if you love what you wear, you understand the meaning, the essence of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think the society, peer group, whatever it is, would dissuade you from such.
No, sometimes, you know, they look at it as if we're being oppressed, as if it's not fashionable. But guess what? As far as I'm concerned, the Muslim woman is one of the most fashionable women on earth. Yes. Mashallah.
Yeah.
Everything we do it depicts, to me, it's, you know, loveliness, if I may put it that way, you know?
Yeah.
Because it just brings out, I just feel it brings out the beauty in a woman. I don't, but let's digress a little bit. Our youngsters these days, the kind of fashion style you see around these days is ridiculous. And unfortunately, you see some of our Muslim women, youths, dress in that manner. And you begin to wonder, why?
You know, could the reason be, like, you know, sometimes, okay, there's this notion where you see when somebody is fully like this, covered, you get the notion that, okay, she's married. And some of the single Muslims who are trying to secure, you know, try to, okay, let me make it a little short, let me try to be a little sexy.
Look nice, beautiful,
to be able to get that attention, because people just assume, some people, that,
the
okay,
moment
no,
you wear a phone, she's married.
She's married, she's
okay.
married. So how do we, maybe that might be the reason.
Okay. If that being the case, you do not need to go that far. Sometimes they wear tight skin leggings, as in tight skin leggings, with a short top that is exposing almost everywhere. And because so that you know she's a Muslim girl, she'll now put a very short hijab, or her hands exposed and every other part of her body. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just to show that, yes, she's a Muslim girl, young lady, and probably not married. And you know the sad part? Sometimes you even see even the married sisters, very, very married sisters, dress in that manner. And it's okay. We are all striving to make Jannah, to please Allah. Everybody is doing their bit. Nobody is without blemish. But we try as much as possible to do our bit, as much as we can. And may Allah grant us mercy, guidance, and forgiveness. And by the way, guidance comes from Allah. Guidance comes only from Allah. So if Allah guides you and He puts you on the right path, for you to understand the reason why, you know, it is decreed for us as women to cover our chastity, to wear the hijab, mashallah. And I pray that Allah should guide all Muslim women and even the non-Muslims to also understand and appreciate the reason why we dress the way we dress. It is the guidance of Allah. And sometimes it's really sad because this so-called westernization also deceives a lot of our sisters into dressing in not so modest way. Reason is this: they think because you wear the hijab, but they have forgotten that the hijab does not cover your intellect. It does not cover your brains. It does not cover whatever it is that you have upstairs. Of recent, we know of a lady that bagged in, I think in University of Ibadan, one sister, I think if I'm not mistaken, in medicine, she bagged almost all the award for excellence. And she's a hijab wearing sister. She's a hijab wearing sister. Very, very intelligent. And you can see a lot of times when you see such hijab wearing sisters in schools, they are very intelligent. It does not cover anything. It doesn't. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't change what you have to offer in the society. The only thing is that we are praying that the society should give us the enabling environment to strive. Because honestly speaking, even we as Muslims, sometimes when you see your fellow Muslim sister all covered up, you look at her like, what's wrong with her? She's too much, she's fanatical and all what have you. But it's not fanatical, and it is not being, we're not being oppressed. It is a noble thing, and alhamdulillah, we pray that may Allah guide other sisters. Amen. Because it is not your doing, it is not what you know, it is not what you don't know, it is not that you're better than the other sister. No, you are not. It is the guidance of Allah.
We wrap it up there.
Yes. And may Allah guide us.
Amen. Thank you so much, Sister Hajia Safia. It was a pleasure speaking to her. Yes, it's not your doing, it's a guidance from Allah. But we have to strive. We have to try to always strive to get Jannah by wearing and covering ourselves up. May Allah make it easy for all of us.
Amen.
Just nice having you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Yeah, sorry, madam. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. Okay.
You forgot.
I forgot.
Yeah, sorry, madam. Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
You forgot.
I forgot.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Here it's me again, Hassana. We are live at the conference hall, National Mosque Abuja. It is the World Hijab Day, the 7th annual event of the World Hijab Day, themed Unity in Diversity. We've spoken to lots of people. They have shared their experiences about the hijab, things or deals they have to face, and even the coalition of Nigerian Muslim women who are putting these things together, their efforts and their achievement. With me here right now is Fauzia Adamu. She's a student and she's going to be sharing with us also her experiences. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. My experience about the hijab. I feel like the hijab is our beauty. It brings our beauty, let me say. There is a time that I didn't care about the hijab. Let me say, my mom is always like, okay, put the hijab. If I want to go out, she's like, put the hijab. And I'm like, no, I don't want to put the hijab. And then here I am in Great Heights Academy. I can say Great Heights is like the best school. I can say it's the best school because it brought me to love hijab. I can go out with the hijab. I feel, okay, I feel so secured when I put the hijab. I feel secured when I put the hijab. Before, I think it's just childishness. Let me see.
Well, also I think it's what they call it, tarbiyah or something.
Yeah, tarbiyah.
Alhamdulillah, because like you said, when you went to Great Heights, so that means our schools also have a lot
Yeah,
of roles to play in instilling the understanding. That's the point, because sometimes it's not just compelling. You know, in the school we can normally just say, wear the hijab. If you don't wear it, we are going to maybe expel you, we are going to punish you, stuff like that. But it goes a long way than doing that. People do not need to fear or be pushed to wear the hijab. They need to be made to love it. They need to be made to understand it. So if that's the case, so I think what Great Height did to you is not force you to wear the hijab, right?
Yeah,
it's like giving you the understanding, the tarbiyah of the reasons why you wear the hijab. So anyway, before the hijab, the Great Height Academy, you have friends who have you had friends who or maybe convince you, maybe tell you, of course, that's the right thing. You need to show off a little bit beauty, and you're
No.
still young, you're still small. Come on, but there's some people who are actually going through that. People tell them, come on, yeah, you're still young, come on, it's not as if you're old enough. So just come out and show up some beauty. It won't harm anybody. People don't even look at you, you're still young and all that. So at what age do you think? Do you think it's about age? Maybe
I don't think it's about age, because when I was young, let me see, when I 3 years old, I guess, I wear the hijab. But when I started growing, maybe let me see, 10, I'm like, okay, I don't care about the hijab or something like that. And then at the end of the day, I realized that the hijab is actually, as I said, it's a clearing call. Yeah, I can put it as it's a clearing call, because it is not like, it's not choosy. It is by force that Muslims should put hijab. So I feel like the hijab is like a really great thing.
Yeah, so also I think our parents also, and they have a role to play. Like you said, you wear hijab at a very young age. So if you start wearing the hijab, or as a parent, you start putting the hijab on for your little daughters, you start, like you say, you lead by example. You just don't tell them, go and wear a hijab, and then mommy is wearing the hijab. Mommy only wears when she's going out to some occasions. But if she starts seeing you doing that, and you buy for yourself, you buy hers, then you would do that, doing the ACO kind of stuff. I think it goes a long way to show us the child an example, So what advice would you give? Because there are some people, youngsters, youth who are going through this confusion. Will I put it like maybe?
I feel like they just feel insecure about putting the hijab on. Maybe when they go out, okay, I'm the only one putting on hijab with my friends.
Yes, yeah.
So I feel like they should just be a normal person. They don't have to be following other people, because they should be themselves.
They should be themselves. So that's a great one. I would end it there, because I like that. You should be yourself, because that's what defines you. You don't let people tell you who you are. You tell people who you are. I like that part where she ended there. That's Sister Fozia. Alhamdulillah, may Allah make it easy for us. You need to understand yourself. That's the lesson she just dropped. You need to be yourself. Tell people, show people who you are. Do not let them define who you are. May Allah make it easy for us. We are still discussing this stuff. We are still going further. We hope Allah makes it easy for all of us. And then going back to my speech, to my talk, the hijab, to me, I think, most of us, when we are born into Muslim homes, automatically we are Muslims, because we are born in Muslim home. We are born in an Islamic family, so we tend to, it becomes a uniform. It's a part of our clothing. We just have to wear it because my mother says so. You wear it because my sister says so. My dad is going to get angry. But it goes beyond that. As parents, we need to not make our children fear, of losing something to be able to put the hijab on. It should not be like, how will I put it, that you have to gain something for putting it on. You have to give them the tarbiyah to understand. You have to teach them. Let them know the reason why they are wearing it. Let them know the blessings attached to it, so that when you're not there, they will be able to adorn themselves with hijab. And then you have to lead by example, for our mothers especially. You can't tell our child, go put on the hijab, and you are not wearing yours. Or, okay, no, you're only wearing it for some occasions, and then you tell her, go and wear the hijab. She won't. She might only do it in your presence because you're there, or because she might be punished if she doesn't, but she won't continue. It won't stick, because she doesn't see you do that. You lead by example. So alhamdulillah, some of us feel, okay, because we are born in Muslim homes, obviously we wear the hijab. But this course, this World Hijab Day, seeks to create that awareness for Muslims and not Muslims alike. As Muslims, we know why we wear the hijab and how to be able to represent it, because the hijab, as we've spoken, is not just a piece of clothing. It's what we say, it's what we do, it's how we address others, the peace we give out, the tranquility and the noble character. So right now we'll be joining this lecture inside the hall. We'll come back to give you more hints. We'll come back to give you more topic. We'll come back to speak to you more and enlighten you more about the word hijab, the reasons why you should wear the hijab and be ambassadors of Islam. Do not forget to like us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and like our pages, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, iMedia TV. Until we're back in, we go to join the lecture inside the hall. Inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله
Be a part of the Women in Dawa and the other Muslim coalitions, the Form 1, NASPAT, so many of them, they organize various medical outreaches, which we are always a part of, various lectures all through the year, the One Ummah, where they bring together so many other important speakers from across the world. All these are things that show that indeed the Muslim woman is an important part of the community. It's not just about we're here to be in the home, giving birth, but we do play a very vital role in different aspects of development. And so we must continue to do this. I direct my speech or this aspect of my talk to my daughters in the audience in particular. Some of them have presented, including the he for she that very eloquently supported us. And I want you to continue to do what you're doing. I know that you're taught this in your schools, but please continue to propagate the cause of Islam and to listen very well, and don't feel inhibited by your hijabs. It is your pride, and wear it, and also all the things that you were taught. It is not always easy. Some of us, I was not always in a hijab, or I was not always properly dressed right up to the university level. I remember in UG1, in fact, or pre-med it was, some of my colleagues, females, and I thank them very much for it today, came to me one day in class and said, "Why don't you pray with us?" I said to them, "Because I'm not properly dressed." So they said to me, "Why don't you dress properly so that when it's prayer time, we can all pray together?" And from that day onwards, I started to dress properly. This was in Sokoto when I was still in school in Sokoto. And from then onwards, it was easier for me. I didn't have to keep my prayers until I went back to the room. It wasn't that I didn't cover my head, but I didn't have the proper hijab on. And so gradually, you start to imbibe the right way of living, of right from dressing, and you're able to do your prayers on time. And this really helps your life and generally. There are some schools, I would like to make this point, and I hope that the media will help us to get this message across. There are some schools that still prohibit wearing of hijab or even just simply covering the head right here in our country, or should I say in Abuja. I think that this is wrong. If we say that life gives us freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the ability and the right to choose what we believe in, the same way that they are able to choose not to wear a hijab, we should be able, or anyone else should be able to choose to cover his or her head if they so wish. I have a 5-year-old niece who cannot cover her head when she goes to school. And this is very wrong. And I'd like to call on the coalition to look at this and see if there's something they can do about it. It doesn't happen in the States, but it happens in the bigger capitals like Abuja. There are some international schools that actually prohibits our children from wearing the right clothing. Sometimes they say it is in the setup of their school, in their laws, and if you choose to send your children to those kind of schools, it is your choice. But we can still push for a change in these laws right from the Abuja Federal Capital Territory, the education institutions. I'm sure that some of you here might actually be working with them, and it's important that we do that. And I'd be very willing to lend my voice to any coalition that wants to look at something like that. So once more, I'd like to congratulate everybody here and urge us to continue to do what we have to do to empower our fellow sisters so that we can propagate the cause of Islam and progress our country and development of the Muslim Ummah, in particular the female as a whole. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You know, when the professionals, when the amateurs do something, they do it wrong, in a very, very wrong manner. I have reached protocol, and I'm sincerely craving your indulgence, so please pardon me. The big wigs are actually supposed to give their good messages after the smaller ones, but all the same, everybody is important in this hall. It's our day, we want to take it from the women before we go to the men. It's in that order that I would like to call on the representative of the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, the face of the NTA, the Hijabi in the NTA, Hajia Fatima Abbas Hassan, to give us a goodwill message. Atakbir.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the representative of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, wife of the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, Hajia Zainab Bahudu, wife of the Executive Governor, Kebbi State, other members of the High Table, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I bring you greetings and goodwill message from the Director General of the largest TV network in Africa, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. He would have really loved to be here today to be a part of this program because he believes in it. But unfortunately, due to other national assignments, he is not able to be here. But because of the importance he attaches to this program, and because he is proud of what the coalition is doing, he has asked me to be here on his behalf. So permit me to start by commending members of the Coalition of Muslim Women in Nigeria who have consistently and continuously organized this event, which is meant to create awareness on the use of hijab and to send messages out there so that people can learn, can understand the use of the hijab, can appreciate the use of the hijab, can even try using the hijab if they so wish. I must commend their commitment, their dedication, their hard work. We in the NTA believe and we're working very hard to realize our mandate, which is to educate, inform, and entertain. And in the course of doing this, we partner with like-minded government organizations, individuals, and even non-governmental organizations to inform, educate, and entertain. And over the years, we have found the coalition of Muslim women in Nigeria as one organization that we have partnered with over the years to create awareness on issues that affect Muslim women, including the use of the hijab. So I must say that over the years, a lot of achievements have been recorded towards creating awareness on the use of hijab. More people are now more tolerant of people who wear hijab. More people understand and appreciate the use of hijab. More people, even non-Muslims now, use the hijab. That is kudos to the coalition, and that is a testimony of the effort and time and energy they have put into towards creating awareness. Alhamdulillah. But I must say that a lot still needs to be done. There are a lot of issues arising as a result of the use of the hijab. We all know that the use of the hijab should be part of our fundamental human rights, which is entrenched in the Nigerian Constitution. We should have a choice, freedom of choice on what to do, when we want to do it, and how we should do it. I would like to pledge the continued support and cooperation of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, towards this issue and any other issue that is of great importance to Muslim women and women in general. We will continue to partner with you, we will continue to encourage you, we will continue to support you so that we can create awareness on a number of issues that would be beneficial to all of us. Once again, I would like to congratulate the coalition for a successful event. I'd like to wish us all a happy World Hijab Day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. There's no doubt to just settle. Just go home and relax for 9 p.m. Just go home. When you go home, relax very well. Wash your face. Don't feel asleep. If you don't have NEPA, put them so that by 9, just cross your leg. If you like, be taking a cup of tea or coffee because we are sure that this program is coming on air at 9 o'clock this evening. Yes, that was our face on the Nigerian Television Authority. We meet her on Wednesday's News Extra, but then she has risen to a greater height. I forgot to tell you or let you know when I was introducing her that she is the present General Manager of NTA Abuja, even though she's representing the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority. Sister Fatima Abad, you have been a role model. You have actually propelled a lot of young girls to want to grow up to be like you. And when some of us grow up, when I grow up, I want to be like Sister Fatima Abad Hassan. Very quickly, I forgot a very, very important message I ought to have said before now. Her Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Kebbi State, has been contributing and actually made tremendous contribution to Dawah in Nigeria. And on that note, women in Dawah, during one of their activities in Kebbi, conferred on her the Mujahida. being part of us this morning. I want to also very quickly invite pharmacist Idaya Onibilowo, if she's here, just give us a brief goodwill message. Pharmacist Idaya, are you here? Please make it very, very short and snappy.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All protocols duly observed. A big one. We thank God Almighty and Allah for bringing us all here today. And we also thank God for the organizers of this event. I learned this is the seventh one. And I just felt that I want to share something very, very fundamental. We are all aware of it, no doubt. And that's the issue of shape. Why do I have to talk about this? If you look through WhatsApp messages, sometime back, there was one news or message that was making around. And it's all about us not really understanding what it means to believe in the oneness of Allah. And that actually drives away so many people out of Islam. And now that we are Hijabites, that is one of our important expectations. How are we not going to drive away people from Islam? Those of us that are already in the fold of Islam, how are we going to strive to ensure that we retain ourselves? And that brings me to the second point. The first one quickly was, there was a couple, that had problem in the night, and the man brought out the charms and the challenge and was doing incantation. But still, the problem didn't go away, and the woman eventually now went to a church. She said she had voices telling her that she should go to a church. Eventually, she's now a Muslim. She recounted, unquote, recounted her experiences in the hands of her husband's relatives and in the hands of her own relatives. They were very, very unpalatable. Obviously, issues of this calls for proper counseling and enlightenment. But according to her, she was put in chains over time, that she's now an unbeliever and whatever. Anyway, to cut long story short, she now has a church of her own, and she provides abode for people that encounter things like that. So, Hijab sisters, we are mothers, we are mother-in-laws, we are wives. How are we going to prevent this kind of occurrence? Knowledge, very, very key. And also, appreciating the fact that Almighty Allah said in the Quran that He will forgive any other sins that He chooses to forgive, but not shirk. This is very, very key. And then we also try to invite this in all our children. May Almighty Allah make it easy for us. And I have not promised that because you are Muslim, you will not be tried. We will be tried. And the higher our iman, the higher our trials. May Almighty Allah is our here. And then the second issue, we are Hijabites. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if you remember, one thing, if we do this our morning and evening azkar, there is a prayer there that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he glorified Allah. And normally, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam glorified Allah, the quest that is going to them is of a very fundamental importance. And he said, oh Allah, strengthen me after you glorify Allah, that I do not harm my soul and harm other Muslims. That is very, very important. So as Hijabites, how are we not going to be harming ourselves and our Muslim brothers and sisters? May Almighty Allah make it easy for us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khairan. That name I thought was not Mujahida. It is actually Hajimatuddin. I hope I'm getting it for the last time. I was just corrected. May Allah bless you. Let us also very quickly, please, let's be very, very conscious of time. Time is of the essence. We need to leave here for soon. I want to call on the Amir NPD and Haji Umar Farouk to give us a short, a very brief goodwill message. If you are here, brother, it's now your time. We'll finish with the ladies on goodwill message. So please make it snappy. You have just 2 minutes to give us a goodwill message. Thank you for coming.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The representative of Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Hajia Amina Namadisam, and Her Excellency, the wife of my governor, Hajia Zainab Babulu, all protocols observed. I want to congratulate the Coalition of Nigeria Muslim Women for being consistent and persistent and steadfast and dogged in ensuring that the Muslim woman can discharge her obligation in dressing properly according to injunctions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I also want to remind both men and women that wearing of the hijab is not just a right of the Muslim woman, it's also her obligation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, we should be consistent and persistent on this, because it's not an issue that the Muslim has a choice over. If it was just a right, you can forego your right. But it's also an obligation for the Muslim that submits to Allah to follow the injunctions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And finally, to especially emphasize to the men that this is not just an issue for the women. In fact, the men should be in the vanguard of this. Because I want to remind us that the Prophet ﷺ has informed us that each one of us is a guardian, and each one of us will be questioned about the subjects of his guardianship. And for the man, he has the obligation for members of his household. And therefore, if men do not insist that their wives and their daughters discharge the obligations to Allah of modest person as instructed by him, then the men themselves really stand accused for failing in the discharge of their duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, both men and women need to ensure that both the wives and the children dress properly as instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's not just a question of choice, it's a question of discharging an obligation. I will stop here, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us the ability to discharge our duty to Him, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will count us among those that actually practice Islam and not just say we are practicing. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Haji Umar Farouk, the Amir MPD. The Hijab Muslim Professionals in Dawah, okay? The MPD actually means Muslim Professionals in Dawah. That was the Amir. He said hijab is a command and wearing the hijab is an obligation upon us all. The next on goodwill message is the representative of the Amir Street Dawah organization. If the representative is here, please can you come up and give us a very, very short goodwill message. The representative of the Amir Street Dawah organization. Please make it short, snappy.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we give all thanks, adorations and glorifications to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has made it possible for each and every one of us to be here today to grace this occasion. I'm representing Ustaz Awal Ali, the Amiable Amir of Street Dawah, Nigeria, who is unavoidably here due to the loss of his grandmother yesterday. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant our Rani Jannatul Firdaus. A goodwill message to you all, our mothers, our wives, our sisters and our daughters. The hijab is your greatest pride and symbol after Iman. The level of your hijab is a representation of the level of your Iman. Therefore, our dear sisters in Islam, if the label shows your intent, then wear it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us all for our strives and struggles in following the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will unite us here in this world all in our diversities and also unite our beautiful faces in Jannah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. Hijab is the level of our Iman. Thank you very much, brother. Latifatul Ummah is unavoidably absent this year. And if you have been an ardent, should I say, observer of the World Hijab Day, you agree with me that year in, year out, she has always been with us. But for this year's event, she is not with us. She is unavoidably absent. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide and protect her wherever she is. But then she has sent a very powerful representative. Perhaps you may not know the person I'm talking about. She is the wife of the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Hijab Amina Nabadi Sambo, who is unavoidably absent. But then we have a very, very powerful representative here who is going to give us a message. She is Barrister Sarah Shahi. Please can you come to the podium and deliver a message of Latifa to Ummah to us.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم sisters and brothers. As she has said, I'm here to represent Her Excellency Hajia Amina Namaji Sambo, the woman I would like to refer to as a total Muslim woman. She has been a great support to the coalition, and she's very passionate about the World Hijab Day, and in fact, everything Islam. she has a passion for it. She's unavoidably absent, and she's asked me to represent her. Although I will not be able to fit into her shoes, but I will try my best. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. There is no any written message. But as we know, when a day is dedicated to a subject matter, it is to create awareness for that subject matter. The World Hijab Day started. And as we know, all over the world now, the issue of hijab has taken another dimension. In fact, when you are on the social media, you will always be so happy and glad at the rate the Western world is going hijab. And even in Nigeria here, although we have a lot of people that are still resistant the hijab. Therefore, what I would advocate here for all Muslim sisters, especially the younger ones, education is key. Any argument you want to win, you must be educated and knowledgeable about it. Knowledge is power. When Murtaba Sarkin Kano was the central bank governor, it was with knowledge and intelligence that he won all the battles. So my sisters, especially our daughters, read and read. Read about the Quran. What is written there about the hijab? Most times it is ignorance and lack of knowledge. If you read even the Bible, it is written there, the verses are there, where God said women must be modest, must dress properly. So that when there is an argument, you say, but God has said it even in the Bible. It's not only in the Quran. Therefore, it is a divine order of the Almighty Allah. I'm happy that the World Hijab Day is gaining prominence. And to tell you the truth today, the icing on the cake for me was Kamal, the little boy. It is very important that our children, our sons, should know the importance of hijab. Because we've had experiences where it is your husband that will tell you, I don't want to see you in this hijab. We have had senior brothers that will come to our house. Is it your husband that asked you to be wearing this thing? You know, it's because they don't know. So knowledge is the most important weapon for this fight. May Allah make it easy for all of us Muslims. And I pray that the coalition, maybe in their next lecture, should try and show people what hijab is. Hijab doesn't necessarily mean you have to be dressed in this kind of dress alone. There should be other ways that you show, because there are different tribes, as she has said in our lecture, differences in our diversity. People that wear the fire, they are properly hijab. People, you know, the people that go to the office, they wear suits that are proper and they wear the head covering. So there's a need for enlightenment, proper enlightenment for what is hijab. May Allah reward everyone with Al-Jannah to Firdaus. And as Hajja Amina normally say in everything we do, she said, may Allah put it on your mizan for you. May Allah strengthen her in everything she has been doing for Islam. May Allah bless her family and bless everybody that she has touched his life. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
Atakbir. Thank you very much, sister. You have represented and represented very, very beautifully. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you immensely. My dear sisters, we are moving gradually to the backing lot. It is time now to take a remark from a special guest of honor, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Hajia Aisha Buhari, who is also unavoidably absent, but has sent another powerful representative to represent her in this forum. I'm talking about Hajia Mariam Abdullahi. She's the former FCT Form 1 Amira. I call on you, Hajia, to please kindly come on the podium to deliver the remark of our special guest of honor to us. We have among us our participants or our guests who do not actually understand English. And on that note, the representative of the First Lady will be giving her remark in Hausa for the benefit of those non-English speaking audience. Thank you.